What's up, dudes? It's JP here. Just want to say thank you so much for listening to another episode of Life on Blast. We have a very special episode today. We welcomed Jay Light, the comedian, to the show to talk about his new album, Good Guy with a Gun. Comes out August the 14th. Dudes, I've listened to a few tracks. It is amazing. He's always funny. He never really makes me not laugh. As you can tell in this episode, I'm a giggling little fanboy. It was so much fun to have him here. Talked about his life. Now, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to plug the album first for Jay Light, Good Guy with a Gun, August 14th, Amazon, all the music areas where you can purchase it. And I'll have a link in the footnotes. But I want to let you guys know that we still have issues and a PDF file for our Black Lives Matter zine that my poetry group and I put out. I mean, I put 2 poems into it, but the footwork was done by Jessica Gilfillian, Alfred Valdivia, Stephanie Peak, and then we wouldn't be here without the founder of the group, Andy Carballo. Guys, shoot us a line if you want to have yourself a amazing piece of literature, Black Lives Matter, tips on protests, and then also a link to donate to the cause. If you want that in your possession, please email us wotb.redlands, redlands, @gmail.com. Get yourself a free issue or a PDF file if you want to print it at home. Save us a few bucks. But dudes, please check it out. And then also, if you're not listening to us on Podbean, on whatever faucet I keep saying faucet, whatever spout or fucking airwaves, I don't know, wherever you're listening to us, check us out on Podbean, on blast with jp.podbean.com. We have a few premium tiers, some giveaway stuff, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, I want to get into this episode with Jay Light, the funny motherfucker. I love this guy. So sit back, relax, get ready to chuckle, and deuces. What's up, dude? It's your host, JP Johnson. I startled you there a little bit.
There you go. You just leave it in.
Just jumping right in.
Just go right in.
What's up, guys?
Cold open.
We got a little steamy before, so I'm in the mode.
My glasses are fogged up now. After what we just talked about.
Oh boy.
After talking about Cardi B's wet ass pussy, even talking about it is a real no zone apparently.
It's got me whoppy. Is that
got that wet boy pussy.
Welcome to another episode of Life on Blast. Probably the last episode after some of that content gets out. I have a very special guest, and I'm super excited. Actually, first comedian on the show.
Am I really the first comedian? Oh, that's such an honor.
Yeah, dude. If I'm gonna break that comedian cherry, dude, I want to have it with a beautiful mustache and amazing glasses.
Thank you.
That is you. Jay Light, what's up?
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Man.
In my mustache and glasses glory.
And a beautiful shirt. Oh
it's linen, baby. It's for summertime.
It is, this is good podcasting, talking about your shirt.
Yeah, well, I figure, I mean, you mentioned that this is a very LGBT-friendly show.
Yeah.
And I am not a member of the LGBT community, but if I wear a rainbow shirt, then I'm doing my part.
Yeah. Rapping. Thank you so much.
Yes,
we're gonna take that off your back before you leave.
Oh, is that gonna be? Are you gonna fly this instead of a rainbow flag?
Yeah, the flags are too much, dude.
There you go. See, it's linen. It's the summertime. You can fly a linen flag, and I have an undershirt on too, so I'll be good to go when I drive through a Raising Cane's after this, and they don't serve me because I don't have a shirt on. No, I got an undershirt. It's okay. It's mesh. to keep with the gay friendly clothing
Good.
items.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is so adorable. Dude, Raising Cane's, I've never been there.
Raising Cane's is. I mean, I'll eat chicken strips until I die.
Yeah,
That's what Raising Cane's has.
just chicken strips, right? I mean, that's it. That's all they're about, right?
Chicken strips, fries, coleslaw, and toast. That's all you need.
That's all you need. Just this delicious fried ethnic Southern food and some toast.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess, yeah. It's. I mean, I grew up in the South, and so I have been. I'm no stranger to chicken strip related restaurants.
Yeah.
There are more than a handful. I could rank them for you if you want.
Oh yes.
Do you want? I don't know how good content that is to start off with talking. Oh, let's rank a chicken strip restaurant.
Yes, I brought a comedian here to talk about his new album coming out, but let's get that fucking rating on the chicken strips.
Zaxby's is number one.
Number one, Zaxby's. Okay.
Number one, and that's all you need to know. Raising Cane, everything is below Zaxby's. Raising Cane's comes close, but nothing beats Zaxby's.
Dude, living in, because I was born and raised, going to die here in Southern California. This is my fucking birth and death spot. Like, so, like, we don't. I mean, my family's from the South, so my grandfather is from Mississippi.
Okay.
And he left there and just never looked back.
All right, probably a smart move.
Very smart. And my grandma's from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Okay, very south.
Very south. So we are just a south-loving family. And I grew up with his chicken, his ribs, like all of his barbecue, his just good homemade Southern food. Mm-hmm. And I remember before he passed, we took him to Dave's famous...
The hot chicken place?
Dave's famous ribs. No, Dave's the barbecue joint.
Barbecue joint.
Famous Dave's. Famous Dave's.
Oh, okay, Famous Dave's. I'm thinking there's a hot chicken place that's everywhere now called Dave's Hot Chicken. So
Really?
yeah,
Man, Dave is getting out there.
Good for Dave, right?
Good for finally. Dave has not had enough recognition, which is actually my grandfather's name. So
your grandfather's Dave Hot Chicken.
my grandfather is Dave Hot Chicken the Third. There's quite a few Dave Hot Chickens out there.
You know, I'm also a third, so
Really?
shout out to your grandfather.
Thank you. I'll let him
Dave
know.
Hot Chicken the Third.
I'll shoot him a tweet beyond the grave. Like, and we went there and we were like, oh, Famous Dave's, this is gonna be great. My grandfather, we all talked about his barbecue as a family. We get there. He was not a fan.
What did he like about it?
Everything.
Okay.
My grandfather has been. Allegedly, my grandfather is black. Was black when he was alive.
Okay.
And he made a statement where one of the servers came up to us, and it was like this cute little 16-year-old, just very nervous, like, I gotta help you. And he's like, man, where's all the sisters at? And she was like, well, they're at home with my mom. This poor girl. And we're like, Grandpa, shut the fuck up. And he was not a fan. And I mean, I'm fat. I can eat a bucket of fried rat guts and just be like, dope. Do you have any more? You got some Crystal's hot sauce? We'll put that shit on there.
Tucked it right on there.
Yeah. And so I liked it. My grandfather, when we left, he was like, never go back there. This place is god awful. And I make it a point to always go back there.
Why? You're dishonoring your grandfather.
You know, that's why I'm here, is to dishonor my grandfather and my
Aren't
family.
we all, though?
Yeah,
At
right?
the end of the day. I mean, my grandfather would certainly not be happy if he heard this album. Well, one of them wouldn't be, I don't think. The other one, I feel like, would absolutely understand and get it.
Okay.
Because as I've learned over the course of the past, really, like, I mean, I've been doing comedy for almost 10 years.
Nice.
And
okay.
Over the course of the past 3 years, I guess, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's about the time that I've actually, like, developed a career out of doing comedy.
Yes.
And not just been fucking around and doing it as, a hobby.
Yeah.
A glorified hobby.
which I know very well.
It's the thing, man. You got to do one of these days.
Yeah.
This shit changes. But I hit this point with my family where they finally, like, once I started to make money off of it, they developed like a begrudging respect in the sense of my jokes are never for my family. Like my comedy, I don't write it for their sense of humor. I write it for my sense of humor. I think that's what any comic should do.
Oh yeah.
But I have learned that although my mom and dad have a lot in common, my dad's sense of humor makes him much more likely to laugh at my jokes than my mom, I think, in terms of some of the subject matter and like the kinds of jokes I make.
Yes,
which,
sir.
by that fact, means that my grandmother on his side, his mom, and then my grandfather, R.I.P., but they have...
Rest in power.
On their side, rest in power. Rest in power to Victor. But they would also be much more likely to laugh at it than my mom's mom, who I feel like would probably not be happy with some of the things that I make jokes about and stuff. Mom's side of the family is very different than the dad's side of the family. I've really learned, like, I mean, I had a conversation with my mom last week, with both my parents, but my mom comes to mind. Yeah. Because I was talking to them about the album, and my dad hadn't listened to it, but my mom had listened to the first track.
Okay.
And the first track of the album is it's first. Let me say this to clarify about the album.
Let's go ahead.
It's not a full stand-up album. It's stand-up sketches, and there's a roast battle in the middle.
Oh, dope. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wanted to make something that was not just a white guy telling jokes.
Gotcha.
Right? Like, those are a dime a dozen. I wanted to make something that is unique and has other elements to it that reflect what I do as a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, I have done a lot of roast battles, and I attribute a lot of my own career to being a part of roast battle, and I think there are some jokes and sketches and stuff that I couldn't do as a stand-up bit, but I still felt like we have to figure out how to make this album have sort of a narrative to it and give it a thing.
Yeah.
And
that's dope. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I worked with a great producer, Coach T, who does the DJ for Roast Battle, and he's produced some other great stand-up albums. You know, he's a friend, he's a good collaborator, and he really worked some wonders on this album. Now, so the first track is a sketch, and it has a character who is a mom talking to another character who's a priest about catching her son masturbating and having to deal with that.
Yeah,
and
good clean humor.
Good clean fun, right?
Yes.
And it's a sketch that's clearly very, like, it's based on a true story, but it's not actually what happened. I have no idea what happened when my mom caught me masturbating, what went through her mind.
But it was the mom character was your mom.
Sort of.
Okay.
She's a mom. She's not my mom.
Not the mom.
She's just a mom.
Okay.
Right? She's a concerned mom talking to a religious figure who somebody like my mom might go talk to in the wake of catching their son masturbating.
Gotcha.
And not knowing how to handle it. And then there's also some music and stuff on that first track. And my mom said she listened to the first track and she didn't like it and she turned the album off.
Thanks, Mom.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like I have this conversation with her.
Yeah.
All the time, because it just kind of comes up, is that my comedy's not for her, and that's not said with any sort of like malice or malintent. It's just it's not for you, and that's fine. It is what it is.
For sure, man. I had to like blacklist my mom from seeing me live. I don't know if I've told you the story. This is a
I've never heard this story.
Okay, so
lay it on me.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. I'm not a comedian. I'm not. I am so much not a comedian that I made a comedy show in my hometown so I can perform. Because when I think of a comedian, I think of you, like grinding, writing, doing, just doing the footwork, like finding out all the open mics, getting booked, talking. I'm too lazy for that, man. I want to play video games and talk about weird shit. And like, so I wasn't, and I now that I have a kid, now I have kids, I don't feel like I have the time to put the grind in. So I don't consider myself a comedian.
Okay.
Have I done comedy sets? Yes. Have I definitely filled the room mostly with my family? Of course. Because who am I the funniest to? I'm the clown of the family. So
Right.
I invite my mom to one of the shows, Laugh Local. Shout out.
Love Laugh Local.
And she got very drunk, and actually she got extremely drunk and was in the front row heckling me the entire and I'm not even saying like be funny, like she stopped the show dead to tell everyone that my birth took 24 hours and that I destroyed her vagina and they had to cut her butthole open.
Oh my God.
And she's yelling this at this crowd. And she's like in the front, and I'm just sitting here with a mic in my hand and just like 2 seconds away of just blowing my brains out. And somehow I control the situation. I deny that that's my mom right off the bat. I'm like, I don't know who this woman is. And that made it funny. But like the whole like my sister's like dragging her out and she's like, fucking get me on the mic. And like everyone, there was even some dude that slightly looked like me sitting next to my mom trying to like spit game at her.
Oh, okay.
And it was this weird situation because I have her yelling and I'm trying to tell my jokes. And I just look and I just see like this mirror, like 99-cent store version of me sitting next to my mom with his arm around her, like trying to spit game. I'm like, where the fuck am I right now?
That's very surreal.
Who dropped acid in my drink? And can we make it stop? So let's jump on your album. So the name of the album is Good Guy with a Gun, right?
That's correct.
And this is your first
comedy album, yeah.
Nice.
Wanted to make an impact.
I listened to one of the tracks. I listened to the one of the tracks that like the preview because
for what are you doing on like Apple Music or something?
Amazon.
Okay, cool.
I tried Apple, I tried Google, and I can't remember any of my passwords. So
that's a bitch.
And and my birthday's coming up, so I got several Beso Bucks gift cards. So
there you go.
So I'm grabbing it and
cash in.
And the one track I heard was the gun story.
Okay, yeah, with the aforementioned grandpa.
Yes,
yeah, that's the same one. And that's how I know he would like this album,
dude. And I was just laughing my ass off because I have such a weird relationship with guns in my family.
Okay.
And I was listening to that. I'm very excited about the album. By the way, when you said that there's like sketches and stuff, and I'm a fucking, like I said, when you entered as you entered the house, my first line was, "Hey, welcome to my house. I do improv."
Yeah. And I'm an improv. What did you said? Like I'm an improv lover or something?
No, I said I'm an improv guy.
I'm an improv guy because we were talking about Christopher Guest movies. And you're like, I'm kind of an improv guy. I kind of like the yes and.
That's how I lose every relationship. I'm just like, oh, we're talking about. Oh, by the way, I'm a very big improv guy. Waiting for Guffman's like one of my favorite movies, and that other movie that I can't remember the name of.
Best in Show.
Best in Show. No, the one where it was actually about improv.
Oh, Don't Think Twice.
Yes.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
It's quite a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well then I guess I'm not that big of an improv guy.
If you ever see it pop up in your like your movie feeds, you know what you should do?
What?
Don't think twice.
Come
on, you're supposed to be an improv guy. It was right there.
Oh, yes, and I will watch it.
There you go.
And then I will watch it without my pants on.
Yes, and I hope your kids aren't home when that happens.
And I don't have kids.
Well, what did you do to your kids then? If you don't have kids anymore, the previous times I've known you've had kids. What did you do to your kids?
I sold them for a bag of beans.
And see,
we are canceled.
See, you can improv.
But I really loved the tracks I heard, and What the fuck were we talking
You're
about?
talking about you have a history of guns in your family.
Yes. Okay.
So tell me, because I'm interested in that, because if you grew up in Southern California,
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Texas, so that's a very different a way that people look at guns, I think.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
there compared to over here.
So, like I said, my grandfather is from the South, currently from the South. He's actually so much from the South, he's in the ground. And he also was, he was in the military. He was in the Korean War. He did 2 tours of Korea, like 4 tours of Nam. He was at the beginning and end.
What branch?
Military.
Well, no, what branch of the military?
I don't know.
He did the whole thing.
He did
a little bit of, dabbled a little bit, put his fingers in all the pies.
Oh man, I meant to say army, but I just was like the military. All of it. He flew planes.
That's how bad the military-industrial complex is in America. Is you don't even know which branch, and it doesn't matter because he still did a bad thing.
He was in the army. He was
okay on the lines, front lines, soldier.
Oh yeah, he told us some stories before he passed away, and with that background, he was pretty much had a gun in his arm longer than he had his own children in his arms for his life.
Right.
So he had guns, and my uncle on my grandma's side was also in the military, and he was also a sheriff for several years.
Okay.
And they would take the boys in the family shooting as soon as you turn 4. And I remember this. This is one of the most fucked up stories from my childhood. I was 4 years old. No, I was 5 years old. My uncle and my grandfather and their friend took us out shooting. My cousin Nicholas, who is 5 years older than me, so he's like about 10, and me, this little 5-year-old. My uncle Tommy gave me a shotgun at the time.
Okay.
It was the same size as my body.
Right. Yeah. I mean, shotguns are big guns.
Yeah, and it was a 10 gauge. Or no. Sorry, 20 gauge.
20 gauge. Okay,
20
got
gauge.
it.
So he gave the kids the smaller gauge of the shotguns.
Right. Yeah.
And before he can say anything to me, before he can give me the safety tip, because he would tell us all the he'd tell the other kids the safety regulations, and not what to do or what not to do, and I just turn around, shoot the gun, and it pushes me off this giant hill, and I go rolling down this hill with the shotgun in my arm. And luckily, there is a bed of cactus that broke my fall.
Oh, how lucky.
And so they're fishing me out of this cactus, and I'm screaming. I'm like I'm traumatized. And my grandfather is like, shit, we have to give me the whiskey. And then they start pouring whiskey down my throat.
To numb the pain.
Yes.
Okay.
So they... So the rest of it's a little bit choppy, but the last bit I remember is going into the house. My uncle and my grandpa carried me, and my mom's like, "What the fuck is wrong with my son?" And I'm like, "Yo, mom, my ass hurts," and I just covered. And then I black out again, and then I come to like...
Which is not the first thing your mom wanted to hear from her drunk 10-year-old son, by the way. 5-year-old, sorry. Drunk 5-year-old son, very visibly drunk. Mom, my ass hurts after hanging out with grandpa and uncle for too long.
Being carried, by the way, yes. Oh my God.
Man, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. That's a wild story.
So, I mean, guns run in our family. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I wish they waited until I was 12. Fuck.
Yeah, I grew up around guns because my dad, also in the military, my dad was a Navy guy, though.
Okay.
And he was so my dad worked on aircraft carriers when he was in the Navy. He was a flight surgeon. And he was out on... the Kitty Hawk when he was still enlisted and active duty.
I know nothing of what that means.
So basically, the Kitty Hawk is one of the aircraft. It's now out of service. It's been retired from the fleet, but it's a aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And he did. He was deployed for a peacetime mission to like Korea, Japan, and Pacific area, and then also in the Gulf War, in Persian Gulf, Kitty Hawk was deployed as part of the part of the naval backup.
Yeah.
But he's a surgeon, so he's not seeing combat. He's not like a combat medic or anything.
Yeah.
But he's seeing, he's there as support, and he's on the ship, and he's done a couple tours, but he's not like using guns.
Yeah.
But he did have guns in the house, and he grew up hunting, and he had a bunch of like shotguns and rifles and stuff.
Yeah.
That you would use for hunting in the house. He had a gun, a locked gun cabinet in his office.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Right.
All right.
Now, but he also never used. Like, he never hunted when I was a child. Like, I never went hunting with him. He never went on any trips because I think as a medical professional, as a surgeon, he's seeing enough blood as it is. Yeah. He doesn't need to add that to his repertoire of like stuff he's gonna do, right? Like he's more of the blow off steam playing golf type of guy instead of blow off steam going deer hunting or boar hunting or whatever.
A real loose cannon.
Right. No, well, he's a very narrow, tight cannon. He's keeping it tight and boiled up, right? But so I grew up around guns, and I had these guns in the house, but I was also never really interested in guns.
Okay.
And then I got this gun for Christmas, and my parents were like, and then they kept it and hid it away.
Yeah.
The way they talk about it in the story. And so the first time I actually, like, I was in a Boy Scouts growing up, and I shot BB guns and stuff. And
as I can tell.
Right, those are their whole own things, right, of course. BB guns, you try and win, do they have, like, turkey shoots where you're, like, shooting BB guns at targets to try and win turkeys and stuff? And it's like a weird thing. Yeah. They make white boys do weird shit in Texas.
I was never a part of, like, the Boy Scouts.
You didn't miss out. A whole lot.
No, my family was just hardcore into sports, so I played. Wanted to play football when I was 5. I mean, I was already had a hardcore drinking problem by that time.
Right. Very hardcore. You already did all the head damage. Your brain damage was already done by the time you're 5 after that drinking incident, as it is.
The swelling was perfect.
So you don't need, fuck CTE. You're going to be fine.
But no, my mom was like, no, you're going to play baseball. And was a toxic sports mom. But I always wanted to be a Boy Scout. That was like my thing. I had it's very interesting. We have like these similar reflective life experiences. So I had a mom who was also not toxic sports mom, but very much like, my dad worked a lot when I was a kid. So my dad was just gone a lot because he was like on call all the time and working late hours. He worked at a lot of different hospitals when he was out of the military and working private practice. And so my mom was the one who's in charge of extracurricular stuff and figuring out what we were going to do. Okay. So I did a lot of sports where my mom would be like the volunteer, also helping out with running the team. Yeah. So she wouldn't like coach the team necessarily, but she would help out, like, she'd bring in snacks or juice boxes, juice boxes, order slices, the whole shebang, right? Good mom.
Yeah. And then I was in Boy Scouts too. And my mom was like the den mom for our Boy Scout troop and like go on things. Yeah. Because I think at the end of the day, my mom just wanted to be around and like helpful and close.
She's like, your dad's gone. I got to
take up. So it's just the kind of thing where it's like, I see where she was coming from. But I also at the time I was like, oh, Mom, come on, just fucking cool it.
Just the fuck up.
Just let me have a thing. It's just your helicopter. It's a classic helicopter mom. Which, hey, no shade, Mom. Yeah. Which maybe you're gonna listen to this podcast. Maybe you've learned by now not to listen to everything I do.
But we just want to say, Jay Light's mom, Denise. Oh my, I love that name, by the way. So if you're listening, Denise, I love your name.
Denise, you're great.
You are wonderful. But I mean, if you had a time machine or a chance to go back in time, like the butterfly effect, maybe just back the fuck off for a little bit.
All right. Well, we've figured out I'm slowly receding like
no.
Back to the Future.
Oh, God.
My comedy career had never happened because my mom gave me enough space as a child. No, but that's the thing. It's like, so she was always around, like, helping me figure out. Well, not helping me. Like, basically saying, you're going to do this thing and you're going to do this thing.
Yes, showing you.
And eventually, when I got old enough, then I was at a point where I could sort of pick and choose and do stuff for myself. And none of the things that she had me do were things that really interested me.
Okay.
So then once I found doing my own stuff, that's what led me to, like, performing. And, you know, I was a theater kid, and I did speech and debate in high school. So once I had some degree of independence, then I was like, oh, I actually like doing this stuff and not sports or Boy Scouts. None of this stuff really interests me. And I want to do this instead. And
I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy, but like, yeah, all that makes sense. Like, you look like a speech debate.
Yeah. And I almost came here wearing a full suit and tie. That's very speech and debating.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. I can't wait to debate.
Carrying buckets of information and just files rolled in with a hand truck.
I mean, deep down, I am a dumb sportsy.
So dumb you just invented a term for yourself.
Yeah, I'm a sportser type person. No, like, I'm just competitive, and I never wanted to play baseball. And my mom was like, "You're not going to play football. That's how you get fucking messed up and bad knees and this and that." And I was like, "No, I want to play football." And she's like, "You're going to play baseball, like, you know."
The thinking man's game.
Yeah, the thing, nothing.
The pastime.
That's all you do in baseball is you just think. You sit out in the back, in the left field, if you're like me, who's slow and can't really run.
Same, been there.
Sit in the left field and just think.
Or like left center field, which is when they have too many kids on the team, so they need to invent another spot for somebody to go hang out in so they don't feel bad. And keep a kid in the dugout when that's where they should be.
Left center field, holy shit! I totally forgot about
dude. That was my fucking jam, dude. Yeah. Left center field, right center field. If you're feeling a little saucy, coach.
If the coach is left hand or right hand, I gotcha. Or ambidextrous, and then we have both.
And then you have both, yeah.
You just have 10 kids in the outfield just.
Right, nobody inside the infield at all.
Yeah,
it's just the pitcher and the catcher, and then 10 outfielders. All
catching
kids
butterflies.
Looking at roly-polies and picking dandelions.
But my mom, because they had me in center field or
left field.
When I first started, because I didn't know shit, and my mom, that is not gonna fly. So my mom was like, "Make him a pitcher." And my coach was just like, "I'm sick of your mom. Let's see if you can pitch." Fucking terrible. I was like, "Dude, I don't want to be here."
Right.
Like, can you molest me so I can get the fuck out of here or something? Like, I know you drink. Can you give me some so I can never play baseball again? Something.
Come on.
And he was like, "Well, it'd be great maybe if you were a catcher because you're just ginormous." And that changed my whole view. Because I got to sit there, and then also one of our first games, it was as exciting as a child's little league baseball game could be. We were tied up, bases are loaded. Kid hit a foul ball like up. The third base was running to score, and I did a League of Their Own type, caught the ball, and then tackled this kid. Like this kid, and I was 200 pounds by the time I was 10, so I was a
hefty boy,
just a gnarly human child. I was already 5'4".
You're a fucking queen size mattress, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was just this gnarly human, like gigantic beast, and this poor normal size 85-pound kid comes running, and then fucking just gets pummeled. His helmet comes off. And I was like, "Yo, fuck fuck yes, this is my shit. So every time, that was my thing, because I just wanted to hit people. I was an angry kid. I was 200 pounds.
Right.
People were not nice to me. I looked like a fucking gorilla. So I was just like, I need to get my anger out. So I was the catcher, and I was very, very physical. And these poor little, oh God, I think of the times when they, like, because our teams, we'd have like girls on our teams. Like,
right, as you do, yeah.
Yeah,
you have the competitive girls.
Yeah. Oh man, we had Andrea. She's a friend that I grew up with from like 3rd grade up. She was very competitive and just a badass baseball player, way better than me.
Oh yeah.
And I remember we were practicing, and there was another girl, I can't remember her name. She went to steal home, and I fucking just mashed her.
Ooh. But no, it's the sport though. You got to do what you got to do.
Those poor girls. But what I wanted to say about my mom being toxic, she was always in the crowd just yelling and screaming. Like, I remember she cussed this a mom of another player's, like, just cussed her out. Because the mom was like, yo, is that a normal human child? That kid is 5 foot. He's taller than me.
5'3", 200 pounds.
And my mom was like, that's my baby. How and like was screaming. They had to take my mom off the field. And
God.
And the poor mom was like apologizing. She's like, I'm sorry, you're just so big. And I'm like, thank you. I don't get that enough. Can you please tell me how why is this 10-year-old boy got tits? Like, can you say? So that's why I'm here now.
Okay, that's a good origin story.
Man, we are way off topic. This is great.
I didn't even realize we were supposed to have topics.
And you know what? That's the rule of the show is it's kind of the fly the cuff. We want to put something on blast. We want to. We're putting toxic momming on blast.
Toxic mom? No, fuck toxic masculinity. We're talking about toxic momsculinity now.
Momsculinity.
Yes.
That just sounds like a really, like, avant-garde fucking...
Momsculinity is headlining at Coachella next year.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that.
Dude, I love them. They're like right next to Dad Leave Me Alone, right?
Yep, they went out. They were supposed to go out on tour this summer, but COVID.
Yeah,
didn't work out. It was going to be the Sticking Together for the Kids tour,
yeah.
but couldn't make it happen.
Or a throwback to the Korn and Limp Bizkit tour of '97 that my mom took me to when I was 12. Family Values.
Oh, okay, yeah. There you go. Very Family Values.
Man, I didn't even...
By the way, it's weird. It's so sad that your mom took you, a 200-pound child, to go see 2 bands named after food. To, like, what is it going to reinforce?
It was Limp Bizkit. It was Korn.
And Korn.
Yeah, and Orgy. It was just a weird one. So, I mean, as you tell, that based what I grew up to be. A fat slut.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a fat biscuit eating
fat slut. Also supposed to go on tour this summer, but couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, COVID, man.
COVID. You know what though? I have friends of mine who are single. To talk about fucking for a second.
Yes.
I have friends of mine who are single, and I don't know if you have friends who are single and like on apps right now.
Yes.
Oh my god, everybody's so fucking horny, and everybody's out like trying to fuck still. We
actually had an episode called "Dating in the Quarantine." Aptly named "Don't Kiss Me, Bitch." Mm-hmm. And it is crazy. We had past guest Andy Carballo, who is a cis-identifying female lesbian.
Okay.
And she's on like not anymore. She's in a relationship. If her girlfriend's listening.
Okay.
But she was talking about this just meeting up with several people, and I'm like, "You're in my house."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I don't fucking kiss them."
Right.
And I'm just like, that is so wild to me, because I'm a very passionate person. Like, I want to if I'm going to hook up with somebody, I'm going to fall in love with them that night and then go to heartache the next day.
Right.
I'm the the standard Latin lover. I will be your soulmate for an hour and 10 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how much tacos I had that night. And she was like, yeah. And the other guest, Jamie, who's a demisexual, which I had no idea what the fuck that was.
Yeah, wait, what is a demisexual? I feel like I've heard that, but I forget what that means.
So I don't want to butcher it, but a demisexual, basically, they can only be sexual when they're emotionally attached.
Okay, yeah. No, I know. I remember why I know that, and I can't talk about on the air why I know that.
Okay.
The person who I know.
Gotcha.
Because, okay. but I know what it is because I know somebody who is that.
Okay. So, and I was like, the first time I heard that, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, so you mean you actually have to like someone before you have sex with them?
That's exactly how I reacted when I heard that from the person who I know who is demisexual. I was like, what? But it also explains a lot about that person, too.
Yeah.
Like, this is somebody who I've known for years. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
And it is a beautiful thing. Like, demisexual, it's pretty much having that, like, Christian outlook on love and, like, relationships. With, like, you don't have sex until you're ready or, married. But without, like, taking Jesus out of the equation. And if I can do anything in my daily life that just takes Jesus out of everything, it would be perfect. Just
get rid of that Lord.
Yeah, just
you're done.
And it was great, but like she went on a date with a very lukewarm glass of water of a man.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, I made out with him. And Andy, the other guest, just fucking lost her mind. She's like, you don't kiss him on the first date. And I'm like, but you fuck on the first date. Yeah, but you don't kiss on the first date. That's
what?
Right? That's like my go-to move. I can kiss like a motherfucker.
Why aren't you supposed to? I can kiss on the first date.
Yeah.
It's easy.
So, okay, this is a good thing. J-Light, if we're going on a first date, what are 3 things that are for sure going to happen or that you're going to try to make happen?
Oh, my God.
And 3 things off the plate.
Well, I mean, I haven't gone... So I'm in a committed relationship now. I haven't gone on a first date in, 3 years. So let me just, rack my brain for a second.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm going to... I mean... I love... This is actually very convenient that because I just did a podcast about dating, so it's kind of fresh in my mind.
Dope.
I love going on a first date that is a walk. Like, you get a coffee and you go for a walk around a neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm already out. But, okay, this is you.
Locomotion's involved.
This is you, yes.
No for JP. So, a coffee and a walk is a great first date, I think.
Yeah,
because you get to, what I was doing when I was going on dates is I would, pick a coffee shop that I liked that was in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I would say, let's meet here, and then we could also walk around. Because I know where I know the neighborhood, and if we wind up back at the coffee shop, we can hang out, sit down.
Perfect.
But it's also an opportunity to talk to somebody without having to just be sitting at a table the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I think for a first date, you should be talking and getting to know each other.
Okay.
But if you're moving and your scenery's changing, it kind of gets rid of the potential awkwardness of oh, what if you run out of things to talk about?
Yeah.
So it adds a couple layers of things.
And it's also very good to have that just in case you are a weirdo and make a movie about your love life.
Right.
Yeah, you want to have that. You just don't want...
No.
You don't want that scene of you guys just sitting in a coffee shop.
Oh, that's so fucking cliche and boring. The scene of you walking, better.
Beautiful.
You can have camera movement. You can do some dolly shots, some zoom shots. Oh, better, so much better. Some panning, wipes.
Yeah. Like wet wipes or...
I meant star wipes,
No, I gotcha,
edits, but whatever. You can have wet wipes too on the first date if you want. You're probably gonna need it after you poop from the coffee.
Yeah.
So that's a first date move for me. And you're also, I mean, I will, if we're vibing, I will try and at least make some sort of a move of a kiss, probably.
Okay. Good.
And I will probably tell you about being upfront about what I want. That's something I will also do on a first date.
Oh shit, you don't fuck around. You're
I
just
don't
like,
fuck around.
okay.
Which is what, I mean, that's what you kind of have to do, I think. I think a first
nowadays,
date,
yeah.
like, if you're on an app, you know, you can message back and forth with somebody, and you get off the app as soon as you can, as far as, like, you get their phone number, and then you talk to them, and then on the first date, then you're like, all right, so this is, you know, you got to cut the bullshit a little bit. Be like, this is what I'm looking for right now. And when I was still going out on first dates a lot, that was the thing where I was like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just sort of like hanging out and having a good time right now.
Dope. Okay.
And if we would vibe, then I would very much put that out there. Because
Yeah.
then you get rid of all the bullshit up front of like, if they're not looking for that, then cool, you guys can move on.
Yeah.
And if they're down, then it's like, great. Things I won't do on a first date. I'll try not to bring them back to my place on the first date.
Okay.
I would
Smart.
much rather not be at home. I'd rather go somewhere else.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, I lived with a lot. I lived with roommates for pretty much my entire single life, and I would much rather not, on the first date at least, if like we're getting to that point, I'd rather not fuck with a roommate around.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, that's nothing. There's nothing comfortable with like bringing, especially like a first date. Like, hey, this is so and so, and then have somebody in the equation to fuck it up or
I
make
don't need any of that. And I mean that's definitely a thing. And then no movie on a first date.
Yes. Oh.
Again, it hinders the conversation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean those are probably like 2 out of 3. I'm trying to think of a third thing. I don't know if there is a third thing.
Okay, those are really good. Yeah, like so pinpoint and so like precise. I am just all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I am. What's the word? Toxic? No. I am very bouncy. Like when I would hit the dating scene, I was just like looking for just to fuck around, find out.
Of course,
yeah. But then when I met my current wife, not my future wife. Wait a second. My wife now. I had I set standards before. It was just like, are they alive? Will they let me go down on them? The end. And one of my biggest things on a date was always try to have them like very like I wanted them to want more of me.
That makes sense. I get that.
So I would always be my number one thing is I would always focus on them.
I like that. You know what? I used to do this on first dates a lot. Was I would turn my phone on to airplane mode. Smart. I would try and treat. I mean, I only reflect on this now because I think about it from. My brain has been poisoned by comedy for so long that I think about it in these terms.
Gotcha.
Like I got to be on a first date, right?
Okay.
The same way I would be on stage or on a podcast.
Yeah.
Because all a first date is a podcast, but you might fuck at the end.
I mean,
sorry to take that off the table. We're not fucking at the end of this podcast.
We're not. Fucking dude, I took a shower for nothing.
It's okay. I took a shower just to be like, so I could present myself well to you and say we're not gonna fuck. I'm sorry.
Oh darn it.
But it's okay. I know I'm letting you down easy.
Never say never. But anyways.
But yeah, it's like I want to be there and focused on you. And I remember I would get very off-put if somebody could not be engaging and like if the conversation felt one-sided.
Oh, that's the worst.
Bothered the shit out of me.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a very talkative person, so I would be able to relate, and then but also kind of figure out what they're about, and that's my number one thing. So if you go on the first date with JP, we're gonna find out about you.
Yeah,
putting you on blast.
Right.
Second thing, I would probably try to bring up movies in conversation. So by the end of it, movies and music. Those are huge things in my facets of my life. Is like I'm very into music. That's my music, movies, Because if I'm doing something like I do art, I play video games, I love to have something playing in the background, whether I'm paying attention to it or
instead of just your own heavy breathing.
Yes. Which, can you hear it all the way over here? Because I can hear it in the mic. It's like.
No, I can't hear it from here. I'm just spitballing here.
Which, I mean, if I start getting like arrhythmia in my heart, my breathing becomes music as itself.
Right.
But so I usually will, depending on how open they are, prepare to get badgered with so many things you need to listen and watch right away.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be in a, if we're gonna move forward from this first date, you have to definitely know who Wu-Tang Clan is. Mm-hmm. You have to know who the Mountain Goats are. You have to have seen Transformers, the animated movie from 1985.
The one with oh god, who's the what's you
got the touch? It's Judd. Oh, I was gonna say Judd Nelson. Is it Judd Nelson?
No, I'm talking Orson Welles.
Orson Welles.
Yeah, as Unicron, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Dare to Be Stupid plays over one of the fight scenes for no fucking reason.
Fucking Weird Al. Such a Weird Al original.
A Weird Al original on a weird... Like, why is a Weird Al song playing during a laser fight scene in space?
But it's either Transformers, the animated movie, or The Warriors.
Okay.
You definitely have to see those.
Okay.
And I'm speaking like 10 years ago because that's when I was going on first dates.
Right, yeah.
Referencing from that time. Now it's a whole different list. Oh, boy.
For Future Wife.
You gotta be prepared. Yes, I gotta be prepared when the lease leaves me or when I die and I have to resurface my dating life in the afterlife.
In the afterlife, yeah.
Yeah.
That would suck if you had to start going out on first dates again in the afterlife, though. Like, they should have it set up to where you're already back in a new relationship. Or if you want to be single, then just let you be single.
Oh my god, who are you going after if you die? If you had to go back in the afterlife?
Oh god, I don't know. I don't know who I want to like. Do I want to pursue a famous person, or do I want to pursue like an old crush? That's the tough question. Is like because there are some like I got unrequited love from my like middle school and teenage years.
Okay.
That I would be. It's the kind of thing that like. That is what social media would ideally be perfect for, and now I'm probably going to go back and look and see if I can find any of these people who I used to have crushes on back in the day. But some of these people have lives. Like if I look back on like, I don't have like a one who got away.
Okay.
Or anything.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
But I have some who are like the first girl I ever had a crush on, and
what was her name?
Angela Dolam.
Angela.
Oh my god, this is a very pathetic me story. I went to this middle school where we would have a dance every like I want to say like every semester.
Okay.
No, not every semester, sorry. Every like 6 weeks or so, right? We were broken up. Our school year was broken up into like 6-week blocks.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say middle school?
Middle school.
Wow, you guys, they were just trying to get y'all to fuck.
This is Texas, baby. Yeah. I'm trying to start them young. Start them young, get them married, go to church, and you're good.
Yeah, done.
And just stay in your hometown forever. Like almost all of the kids who I went to middle school with did.
Like I'm doing now.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, Texas, California, not so different after all. Yeah. Guys, just figure it out.
Just a little less murdery on ethnic people.
A little bit less. Just a little bit
not
less.
Too much less. But
so, in middle school, but you couldn't go to the dances until you were in 7th grade. All right, 6th graders not allowed. So you had to be at least pre-teen, like 12. You'd be a tween in order to get access to the middle school dances.
Your penis must get this hard before you can ride this dance.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So we had a series of dances, and I had a crush on this girl, Angela, and she was not interested in me. Because I was a little wispy nerd boy who did not have like confidence with girls.
Gotcha.
And I was just like, I was so fucking pathetic. And but I was just like super girl crazy. And I was just like, oh, this is the girl. Like I got a crush on her, blah, blah, blah. To show you how girl crazy I was, even before this, there was a girl I had a crush on in 5th grade who like I wrote a love poem to, and I left it in her desk one day, and I got to class early so I could leave this poem in her desk, and then I was the only person in class, and I was like, this is like 10 minutes before the class is supposed to start, and I was like, cool, she's going to see this poem, and she's not going to know, but there's a secret admirer, and blah, blah, blah. And then she was the next person to come in. And she read the poem, and I was the only other person there, and I was just sitting there, just like, who else could that be? Who else who could write a love poem and leave me? And it just, of course, it didn't work out. Just fucking lame. Just so lame. So pathetic. So pathetic 10-year-old.
Oh
but
my
then,
God, yeah.
Okay, so 12-year-old me, we go to this, I have this crush on Angela, and it's like, oh, okay, I can ask her to dance. To slow dance. Oh, that's gonna be the thing, right?
That's the dream of the 12-year-old.
The dream.
Oh
you know, we'll leave a little space for Jesus because they're gonna ask us to. But oh my God, I can put my hands on her shoulders. And so then, at the first slow dance of the middle school dance, she is asked to dance by this very cool skater dude.
Oh, what's his name? Do you
Derek.
remember? Fuck Derek.
Fucking Derek. But he's so cool.
Yeah.
He was so fucking, he had the floppy hair.
Oh, did he have the puka shell necklace?
No, he was like a skater kid. So he
Okay.
had like, he had like the sort of like the, like the Jinko-y kind of jeans.
Yeah.
And he had the fucking like DC shoes. And he was just cool, and I was like, and she was dancing.
I think I'm switching sides. I kind of want to fuck Derek now.
Derek's
Damn,
very fuckable. I understand. As far as 12-year-olds go,
yeah, very.
If 12-year-olds and 12-year-olds are fucking, Derek's the one you want to fuck.
Yeah,
right.
For sure. Yeah,
it's all everybody's of age, everybody's consensual. It's only 12-year-olds and 12-yearolds together.
We at Life on Blast do not encourage 12-year-olds fucking.
Right. Stick to your age bracket.
Yeah, stick to your age bracket. Yes.
I do not endorse anybody having sex with a 15-year-old.
Yes, unless you are
For
15.
instance, just to spitball like an age that some famous people have been accused of having sex with recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's beside the point.
Yeah, fuck them.
So 12-year-old Derek and 12-year-old Angela are like dancing together because she clearly is infatuated with him, as she should be, right?
Yeah,
He's exuding nothing but pheromones and make out with me under the bleachers energy.
Yeah.
And I am not exuding any of that.
Yeah, you're writing poems and like
exactly
collecting badges.
I'm too sensitive, right? I'm writing poems, I'm tying knots, I'm collecting badges. And I see Angela dancing with him from the upstairs of, because the way our gym was set up where we would have the dances is there was an upstairs and a downstairs. The upstairs is where all the nerd kids would go up and like play ping pong and eat snacks while the cool kids danced downstairs with each other. And I was so sad. But then I was like, well, there's going to be another slow dance later on. And I'm going to ask her to dance. And so when the second slow dance song came on, I was on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And I saw her walking up the stairs.
Oh my God. Very.
Go over to the dance, and I reached out and I said, Angela, stop. And she looks down, and she's like, I'm like, well, did you dance with me? And she's like, okay.
Oh.
And of course, I'm not seeing the like, oh, come on, dude. Yeah. I'm just like, yes. But then after that, of course, she never gave me the time of day ever again.
Oh, man.
But that's the thing. It's like, that's how fucking lame and pathetic I was at that age. And so I don't even remember why we started talking about this. Oh my God! But yeah,
reminiscing. Just want to rip off the band-aids of those old wounds.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Angela's probably the person who I would try and date if I were in heaven.
Afterlife. Yes.
I'm gonna look her up. I think I've looked her up on social media before or attempted to. I can't find her anymore. Hopefully, she's probably married to Derek, and they have a wonderful set of skater kids.
Yeah, he's just doing fucking. I don't know. Add skating trick reference here. Where's
Ollie's?
Ollie. Yeah,
Or they both overdosed, and who knows? That's what happens in my hometown, by the way. A lot of kids have overdosed.
Yeah, so hopefully they're dead. So when you die, you can have a chance to win her back from fucking
there you go.
Derek.
Fucking Derek.
Fuck that guy.
Get out of here, Derek.
Man, I don't even know who I would. I would probably go after someone famous. I'm just that kind of person. Probably Brittany Murphy. God. Gone too soon.
Gone too soon.
Man. Brittany Murphy or, just Cleopatra.
I was going to say Amelia Earhart's probably my second pick.
Oh, man.
Because I want to find out what happened.
Yes. Is she even there? Is she even in the afterlife?
I mean, by now, probably. When did she go missing? In the 30s?
Yeah, but did she go missing? I don't know. I found out my boss is a...
Amelia Earhart?
Yeah, I found out my boss is Amelia Earhart, and I've been holding it in this whole time. No, she's like a conspiracy theorist. My fucking boss.
Oh, okay.
Oh Jesus. But anyways, so back to the dating. We went on a weird tangent with Angela and fucking Derek.
Fucking Derek.
Fuck Derek. Number three thing that I'm gonna definitely do on a first date is I am probably going to cook.
Oh.
Because
okay.
that is a very huge thing, and especially in our, like, we're only 5 years apart, but that's and I'm going to make fun of you in a second. That's one of our thing is, like, guys don't cook.
Oh, yeah, that's the stereotype.
Yeah, and I fucking, like, in our household, my wife doesn't cook. She can make a few things here and there, but, like, I'm making, I made, was it buttered chicken? An Indian dish.
Chicken. Yeah.
I made that just like out of scratch. I make barbecue. I'm just making all these kinds of food, and I like to show that I love cooking because look at how fucking ginormous I am.
Right.
But also, like, you're gonna be taken care of. Don't even worry. Sure, now I bitch about cooking every day because it's fucking hot in the middle of the summer.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, first date, I'm definitely cooking you something. 3 things off the table. I loved how you say it. Movies. I will not go to a movie on a first date.
Don't do it.
I tried that when I was 13, and we went and saw I was 16, and we went and saw Jeepers Creepers. And how you can try to put a move on someone when they're ripping people's eyes out?
That's a bad idea.
She was into it. Like, we totally tongue kissed behind Fox Theater in Banning.
Oh,
shout out Fox Theater. Smelled like urine. It was beautiful, magical.
Wait, behind the theater?
Yeah.
After the movie or before the movie?
So the movie, after the movie, and this movie theater in Banning, California. I don't know if you know where it is.
Don't.
It's the butt crack journey to, like, Palm Springs.
Okay.
It's a shitty town.
Okay.
They have one movie theater that has 2 screens.
Oh, fancy.
To this day, still only has 2 screens, and it's only $5 a movie.
Okay.
And it was the second. They had a 3rd screen. The 2 screens, you go in the front of the movie theater, very small. Screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, where they would play all the rated R movies, was through a dark alleyway.
Okay.
Into this old, like, brick wall with a black door.
Okay.
And just like a bouncer.
Some like porn theater kind of shit.
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I remember, like, going there, and we have our tickets, and this, like, giant dude, like, I felt like I was sneaking into a club because I was 16 and it's rated R. And that's when they're like, you have to show your ID.
Right. And
we go in there, and, like, the movie ends, we go out, and I do something I used to do. As a kid, I would be like, to go in for a kiss, I'd always pretend that they had, like, an eyelash that I'm trying to get. So you get very close.
A classic movie learned move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And you grab that, you blow it off, and then you get as close as possible and just try to mush faces. So no movies. Number 2, probably concerts too. Anything. Actually, I'm gonna push that all into, like, one. Any kind of, like, viewing of anything where you have to focus on something. Like, I don't like taking people to, like, comedy shows on the first date or movies, because I want it to be very about them. Like I said, I like to get to know them. And it's hard to, like, converse when you're, laughing at someone else or like, because I like to be the funny person on the date.
Right. Makes sense.
And plus, you don't want them to laugh at, like, a very edgelord guy and be like, oh man, this is who I'm going to try and fuck, is someone who likes someone on stage yelling the N-word. So.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I'd say the second thing is family. Oh no, I went on a date where someone took me to meet their I went to, like, a family thing.
How old were you when this date happened?
23.
Okay, yeah, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, it was a.
Oh my god.
It was. We met at a bar, and then she was like, "Hey, we're gonna have a barbecue." And I was like, "Dope." went to the barbecue. It was a family barbecue. Hell no. Last time I saw that person.
Yeah, fuck that. No thanks.
And then number 3, bank robberies. If we're gonna go on a date and you're feeling like you're gonna rob a bank, yeah, that's off the table.
That's such a shame. Bank robbery was one of my favorite first dates.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is kind of sexy. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna get shot.
And I'm worried about the danger.
Yes, and it would be very helpful if you would wear that bulletproof vest I got you for Christmas.
On the first date for Christmas?
Yes.
Now we're going into crazy town.
Yeah, that was a throwback. And scene. Oh boy. So we're getting close to the end of it. And I'm so glad we got really hard into the your album that's coming out.
Listen, we cover all the we skirted around every single topic that's on my album.
Nice.
So
okay.
there you go.
Is Angela or what was it?
Angela is not on the album.
Damn it, she should be.
Fuck that bitch.
Rest in peace.
She did me wrong. I think we'll say rest in peace.
Yeah.
She's not one of the people who I know overdosed from my hometown and died, but maybe.
But let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Her and Derek just died in like a skateboarding accident.
Maybe. That would be that would be the fucking way for Derek to go out. Fucking Derek.
That would have been
such a cool way to die.
Yeah, like how did he die? Man, he was doing
he did a 900 and celebrated too hard and died afterwards.
Yeah, his heart couldn't handle that accomplishment.
Yeah,
and just gave out.
Fucking Derek, so
fucking
cool.
Derek, so cool. Jesus, man.
But I mean, all the stuff like me going out on bad dates and being in shitty childhood, as far as like me feeling like weird and awkward, and all this religious stuff and sports
and bad sketches with on improv. Yeah.
So all that stuff, it's all sort of wrapped up in there. So in a way, we did talk about my album.
Yes. Thank God.
I don't know if we addressed anything on your note card though.
It just says don't say penis. That stash though. It was talking about your mustache.
Okay.
Blockbusting podcast that you're on. I just am a shitty human being and did not realize that you had a podcast that is right up my fucking alley.
Yeah,
about
it's
movies. Yes,
podcast.
And most of them, like I just caught. What was it? The last one? Like the one on
Palm
Joker.
Springs? Oh, the Joker
one. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And oh my God, I was just like, fuck that movie. Yeah, so good. So, you have a podcast. It's Blockbusting, which
talk about movies people hate and why they hate them.
And it's really good. It's interesting. Yeah. So
well, because I feel like the thing with movie podcasts is they're a dime a dozen, right? And especially podcasts about bad movies are also pretty common.
Movies we hate and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like if you're doing a movie that's like. It's this. You look at it and you're like, "How did this get made?" That's the classic one, right? Or it's a movie that's like objectively a bad movie.
Yeah.
Where you're dissecting it in a way that like you're looking at it and this is like, "Oh, this is bad and this is bad for these reasons." I think it's more interesting, and this is why I love the premise of my podcast and why it's the only one that I've stuck with for as long as I have.
Yeah.
It's because it's about movies that you don't like it's like a thing that makes you feel a certain way as a human being. And this is why you don't like that movie. Because that's a very personal thing. Because that can mean that you don't like a movie that everybody else thinks is great.
Yeah, which sometimes I feel like people who don't like famous movies are kind of like being like the edgy, oh, I don't like that. Because everyone... Yeah, but like listening to you guys, I was like, those are serious points where I didn't even catch. Because like the Joker, of course I liked it. I'm a big fat giant nerd. When I was like, oh, they're making a serious... Scorsese type Joker movie,
right?
And then it was just, but then like you guys dissected it, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, that movie is fucking trash. Holy shit!
That's what happens, man. And sometimes minds change, and sometimes they don't change. But I think it's a good way to at least, if I'm watching a movie from the eye of why might somebody not like this movie, which I try and do whenever I watch the movies again, is try and go in with not a blank slate necessarily. But just look at and try and be like, okay, if I'm really going to be critical and watch this movie, what am I looking for? And sometimes I can't be critical of it, and sometimes people are coming at me with things where I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. No, that's a good point.
Like there are some movies where I was just like objectively like this is a great movie. Like I just recently rewatched The Lost Boys.
Okay. Full disclosure, I've never seen The Lost Boys.
Oh man,
One of my blind spots.
if you do watch this movie, get a notebook, and every time they say the word Michael, write it down. Because I know you don't drink, but write it down, because I think it's like 195 times that they say his name, Michael.
Christ.
It is fucking that movie is god awful. I mean, it is a
vampires, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a good bad movie. It's a very good bad movie. It's bad. The directing's really shoddy.
So let me ask you this. So in terms of like a good bad movie, are we talking like a well-made B movie? Are we talking like an entertaining disaster? Like what's the flavor there?
The movie is okay, so
is it more on like the spectrum of like Snakes on a Plane or The Room?
Snakes on the Plane. It's definitely Snakes on the Plane. Like,
so it's like a well-made B movie.
Yes. So it is like some of the gore, some of it like what's it, Keith Sutherland? What a sexy motherfucker, dude, with that mullet. Oh my gosh. And he's just like drinking blood, and there's a scene where he they do a close up on him and he takes a swig of blood, and that's the sexiest swig of blood I've ever seen in a movie. I'm just like, every time I think of like a hot vampire movie, they are missing that scene, that close up of just this
like blood mustache.
Yeah, just like he even does it too. I'm just like, it's so gross and sexy at the same time. But the movie, I will say, amazing soundtrack.
Okay.
They definitely have a beach concert scene where the musician is shirtless and just muscular glisten as he does a saxophone solo. Amazing. But it's funny when it's not supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Like there's some.
It happens. That happens with movies like that.
But it's a good bad movie. But like I said, keep track on how many times they say Michael.
Okay.
And so I love that. I love being able to like look at a movie that I love and just like, wow, this is fucking horrendous now. Mm-hmm. And that's why I got into I started listening to it. It's on my playlist.
I'm glad you liked it, dude.
Yes.
The nice thing is there's a nice big backlog of episodes that people can go through.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're on 200 something now.
Holy shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because going on, I mean, I've had several aborted podcasts, like I think most comics at this point, and I had this is my third attempt at a podcast. It's the only one that stuck for more than a year.
Dope. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely check that, and you guys should too. Blockbusting podcast. You can check it out on YouTube. That's what I like watching that visual thing. I know you're supposed to listen to a podcast, but like soon we'll have a video thing, and you can see my big fat gross face.
Fun fact: YouTube is the second most popular podcasting platform.
I just found that out, and that's why
That's why you should always put podcast episodes up on YouTube.
I'm the worst.
Nah, you're learning.
I am. This is actually my first podcast.
See, so you got plenty of time to scrap this idea and start fresh.
Yeah, just burn this to the ground. Just abort this to the ground. But like I'm already caught up with all the other podcasts I'm listening to. Like I heard you on Danny Frank's Walks of Life.
Walks of Life.
Love that.
That's I love that. That was a fun episode. And Danny's a good friend.
Danny, he is a good, and I don't know him personally. We kind of mingled through the Laugh Local type community, and he's like messaged me when I started the podcast because I'm very supportive. I'm very into I see people doing fucking dope shit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna support them. I hate the world's full of this toxic like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I was very competitive growing up. Now I'm very supportive.
That's what I mean. I think that's the thing. I feel that vibe too. Like I remember when I first started doing comedy, I had this sort of, I guess you could call it like a toxic masculine kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I think of it more as just like me trying to seem too cool for school.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a trope for sure.
Yeah, and I think what it boiled down to was like I didn't realize that if you want to be like somebody who's respected within a community.
Yeah.
That you don't have to fucking put on airs and try and act like you're cooler than people.
Yeah.
Like when I first started doing open mics in North Carolina, when I very began, I would go and like sit there with my notebook and try and just be like the cool artiste, you know?
Yeah,
just like not talk to people and write jokes and blah blah blah. And then
So
eventually,
mysterious,
right? And I was just like not talking to people, and I was like, I'm gonna be cool. And then eventually, other comics, once they started to like see me around and like they recognized me, then they started to like approach me and talk to me, and then I was like, oh, I should be cool to these. I should like talk to these people and not just be a fucking drip who's like hanging out and trying to be a fucking something that I'm not.
Yeah.
But then I moved to LA and I went through the same thing again. Even because I didn't learn the first time of like, oh, I should actively try and be a part of a community.
Yeah.
And then I learned very quickly because what happened was I moved out here at the same time as one of my best friends who I started comedy with.
Okay.
And he stopped doing comedy.
Oh,
He had some stuff come up in his life and he stopped doing comedy. And I continued, but I was at a loss because he was the person who, like, when we moved out here, he and I were palling around and going to open mics and doing stuff together all the time. And then I lost that person who I was like, who I would hang out with. Yeah. And I knew that I couldn't, like, I could try and be too cool for school, right? And I could try and be the off-put kind of guy and not give a shit. But that's not going to do anything for me. And what I need to do is figure out how to connect with people and how to make friends again.
Fuck yeah.
And being cool for school and not being supportive is not going to get you friends.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a community, and it doesn't just stop with comedy. That goes for all entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a huge community because people will talk about like, oh, how'd you get that job? It's like, I know somebody, and how do you know that person? You're not a fucking standoffish dick.
Right. All of my jobs I've had in the very short time that I've actually like been making a career working in comedy, like as not just a door guy at a comedy club, or a fucking person who's doing open mics and getting booked on shows every once in a while, like somebody who's getting paid to either write or perform comedy. Yeah, all of that is because I was referred to something by somebody else. That's because not only did I like show up and do a good job, but I also wasn't a prick at work.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I love, the classic Conan O'Brien thing when he was ousted from hosting The Tonight Show. In his last monologue, his last, salvo, right? His last thing before they cut to commercial forever. Yeah. Was him saying, if you work hard and are kind, amazing things will happen.
Hell yeah.
And so I try and keep that in mind as, like, I don't want to be a dick at work. Yeah. And I want to do a good job, too. So, as long as I am cool to people and not, like, so afraid of... It's a spectrum you got to find. It's like, I don't want to be so afraid of not being... Of saying the wrong thing if I'm just trying to go for the joke and, like, try and be funny. Yeah. But also, like, know that I can't come from a place of being mean, too. Yes. Which is, it's a tough line to walk, but that's what I try and do when I'm, like, on a job. Yeah. And that has allowed me, because of that, because I've worked with people who see that, I think. Yeah. And they're like, I want to support you, and I will help you get things. Like, I was just telling you before we started recording, I had a job interview, right? For a show. And the only reason I got that job interview is because I worked with a guy who referred me to this person who I interviewed with. And I worked with him on a show, and he and I have worked together on a couple things by now. Yeah. But the only reason I worked with him is because I got referred to another thing by somebody else who, like, looked out for me. Dope. Right? Okay. And the only reason I got through that is because I did well one time on stage, and somebody saw me, and then I was cool to that person afterwards, and we worked something out. So you have to be, like... In my experience, you have to work. Working hard and being kind is going to get you a lot of places. Oh yeah, but you got to be willing to do both sides of the equation. You can't just do one or the other.
And that's, that like we've talked a little bit. That's how we know each other is from Laugh Local. Yeah. That's the comedy show that Kathleen McMurrin, or at the time Kathleen
Morales.
Yes. I was like, I almost forgot one of my best friend's fucking last names. But she and another person who's no longer in the equation, and myself, started the Laugh Local, and we started the show, and she's very kind and warm, and that's me. Like, I've always been like the teddy bear, the openly friendly person, and
right.
And I did a few shows in LA. I went to a few open mics and realized, like, right off the bat, I'm too soft for this. I'm too friendly, and like, there was almost like, I know everyone has different experiences, but when I went out there and tried to like hit the concrete, I just felt very like shut out of the community.
Yeah.
Almost like everyone's very cutthroat, and it was like very kind of harsh.
Yeah.
And I was like,
grind's harsh.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna have a show because first off, I don't have a car, so I can't drive to LA. And second off, it's gonna be based on just other comedian referrals that we like, that, and then just bring that friendly face of comedy.
Right.
You know, like bring that kind of like when you come to a show at Laugh Local, you're like family. Sometimes my family's in the crowd, heckling me and telling everyone about how I destroyed their vagina, and not in a fun way.
No,
not
in a fun way.
But yeah, I mean that's a good like final word moment is just be kind and friendly, and don't be a dick.
Right. I mean, like I said a while ago, I owe a lot of my career to being a part of Roast Battle, right?
Yeah.
But even Roast Battle is the kind of thing where, like, I don't, whenever I battle somebody, and I encourage this to anybody who ever does the show, is I come at it from a place of respect, and I want to know who you are and get to know you before we ever write jokes about each other. Yeah. Because if I don't know you, and if I'm not like connected to you on some level, then it's not going to come from a good place.
Yeah, and I think that's where I saw you, as I did a roast battle against my fellows, and this is my first time, and like I'd never done it before, and I felt like so nice, and like I was just like, haha, fuck you, you look like a turtle, like something stupid, and then I saw I think you, and I don't think Keith Carey was battling anyone, but I remember just like hearing the jokes, and I can't remember, I think it was Paige and someone else, and I heard a joke where they said that there was a bigger woman, and that she's so fat pretty much that her ISIS beheading video.
It's Paige versus Heather, yeah.
Yes, and
Paige is so fat her ISIS beheading video would be a trilogy. Which is
whoa,
a brilliant joke.
It was
so fucking funny.
It fucking destroyed me, and immediately I was just like, oh, I can't do this. I cannot be that mean. And I was like, that is. But I mean, I love Roast Battle. I love watching it because, like, I even saw the smash cut that you did of some of your best.
Oh, my favorite roast jokes. Yeah.
Yes, and I was just like, God, he is so fucking mean. But
it's the thing. It comes from a place of like, I want to impress you and do the jokes that I know you will also like. Like speaking of Paige, when I battled Paige, right? Paige and I both have some similar sensibilities as far as like pop culture kind of things. Yeah. And when we got together, we both talked a lot about movies.
Okay.
And, I wrote this joke because Paige, it's easy to write fat jokes. Like, fat jokes are a dime a dozen. It's very easy to write.
For sure.
And I wrote this joke that, like, when I wrote it, I was like, I have to think of a way to write jokes that are not fat jokes about Paige. Yeah. Okay? And it's so tough because everything, when you're battling a fat comedian, everything sort of tends to come back to them being fat, which is, unless they have a bunch of other stuff. Like when I battled Keith Keith is bisexual.
Yeah,
And Keith has like he has this whole history with his mom, like being a weird, crazy relationship, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Paige is great and super sweet and super nice, and she's fat, and so everything like she doesn't have a shitload of things in the arsenal that you can hit besides being fat. But then I wrote this joke, which is I knew she liked movies, and I was like, I know she will like this joke. And it was the
Paige, I hate your voice. I wish you'd kept the one that you stole from The Little Mermaid.
yes, which is it's a fat joke secretly because it's me calling her Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
But it's a deep.
But it's a cut where it's like I never say Paige, you fat fuck or something like that. Like I say in all the other jokes, right?
Yeah.
But it's a joke that, like, I know she'll appreciate because it's a fat joke by way of all of the other things.
Yes.
I'm never calling her fat, really.
Yeah.
And also, it's a movie reference. So I'm like, I know Paige will like this joke.
Yeah.
And when I said that joke, she laughed really hard at it. And I was like, cool. This is what I want.
And that was a very solid, because I have kids, so Disney is a huge thing, and I love, like, throwing Disney humor in there. So when I heard that, I was just like, fuck. And like some of those on the your favorite roast,
some brutal ones in there.
Check it out, dude.
Keith is like a McDonald's receipt, white trash that's covered in greasy creases. Jean is so white, her parents were Confederate statues. Kim's fucked so many athletes, she calls her abortions roster cuts. Connor, if you ever kill yourself, just do it in your parents' kitchen. That way they'll have something hanging off their fridge they can be proud of. Jeff, you white supremacist softball coach. Jeff looks like if he loses this battle, he's gonna turn this minivan right around.
They say the camera adds 10 pounds. I say, Paige, stop eating cameras.
And also, so I had that on the note.
Well, I mean, on the album, you can hear one of my favorites against Nicole Buchanan, which is a brutal battle.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah, but that one's on there. I haven't released anything from that because I wanted to keep it separate for the album.
Yeah.
So,
and then speaking of the album, Good Guy with a Gun, August 14th. 3 days after my birthday and one day before your
mine.
birthday.
Yes.
God, just two. Like, if you couldn't tell, is two. I mean, obviously, there's like some basic Becky listening and going like, "Oh, they are definitely Leos." Just listen to them. But yeah, I was like super stoked when you posted. I was like, "Oh, dude, my birthday's coming up too." Isn't it the stupidest thing when you get excited when somebody's like close to your birthday?
Yeah, I had somebody texting me about like somebody else told me that they had a birthday that's very close to mine, and I was like, oh yeah, because it is nice to have like that shared thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it gets weird, but it's for the most part, it's very good.
Well, I mean, I am used to it.
It's fun. Yeah,
it is. It's kind of fun, but I'm used to it because I was actually born on my mother's birthday.
Whoa!
What a shitty.
That's the time when it gets awkward. One of the rare times.
Yes, and she's like, it was. She always does this, and this is the grossest thing I hate. Back the fuck off, Mom, Denise, and
no,
my mom,
not
Anna.
my Denise,
not your Denise, my mom, Anna. But I was bringing back to the back off, Mom, joke. But she always calls me at 4:20 in the morning. Was when I was born. Yo, fucking smoke a bowl.
Sweet, dude, tight.
I was really hoping our bedroom, like the room number, would have been 69. Oh, that'd have been so cool perfect. If I was born in room 69 at 4:20.
Too perfect.
But you can't win them all. So she calls me at 4:20 in the morning, recites a passage from a book. I will like you for always. I'll love you forever.
Oh yeah.
As long as
Classic.
I live in.
Maybe you'll be.
Maybe you'll be. Oh. And then talks about how I was the best birthday gift she ever got.
Aww.
And I would always like retort with, "Well, you should have kept the receipt."
Hey.
And then it wasn't until I got older when our real like feelings for each other came out, and she's like, you know what? You fucking stole everything from me. You stole my fucking birthday.
Nah.
Like whenever we get in like we had a real bad one this year, so we're not really talking right now. And a lot of like other stuff that from my childhood starting to dig back up. So like we don't really talk, and now that it is coming up to our birthday, it kind of sucks. I kind of want to be woken up at 4:20 in the morning.
Maybe you call her at 4:20 in the morning and read the
Fuck
read
that.
the book. Hey, listen, it's an olive branch.
Yes, it is. It's a give and take, man. It is. Dude, she will cry, and that was my thing as like a kid. I was very artsy, and I would always give my mom like a handwritten birthday card till I was like 25.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
care.
And I would always incorporate that. I'll love you for always. Like,
It's a good book.
It's a good book. It's a fucking harsh. The ending, he's like,
the ending gets very depressing at the end.
Spoiler alert,
Right.
Mama's dead.
Mama dies.
Mama dies. And then he's holding his own child, saying the things. And you see that motherfucker grow up. He's a terror.
Are you going to cry at the end of this podcast?
I'm crying at the end of this podcast. And then another thing I wanted to bring up that I found while creeping on you. Baby, that cooking, the little cooking episodes you have.
Oh, yeah, the Cooking with Jay.
Man, there's like, what, 2 or 3 episodes
I
of
think
this?
there's 5. It might be 4. Yeah, there's just like, I made them on a lark. I put them on YouTube. It's fun. It's stupid.
It was actually really good because, like, I'm like listening to the podcast and I'm watching. I'm like, dude, this is fucking my shit. And then I'm like, Cooking with Jay. And then, like, he made guacamole, and I was like, yo, that is fucking niche and funny. Like, because the whole time you're doing it with your phone.
Right.
And you're like trying to make guacamole with one hand. And I was like, you need to revisit that. That is fucking funny to me.
I wanted to revisit it, but my girlfriend and I cook together now almost exclusively because we're both home all the time.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to be on camera.
Just have her hold. Like, no.
No, it loses the element of it.
Yes.
It has to be the one-handed.
Yes.
This is what it is.
It's really good. But check it out. Check out Jay Light. Check out the album. Good guy with a gun, man.
Available everywhere August 14th. When is this coming out? I forgot. I should have asked that before we got on the
This
air.
will actually be coming out August 13th.
Great.
The Thursday. So the Thursday before the show.
Well, if you're
before the show, before the album.
If you're antsy and you want to not wait till the 14th, you can go listen to it on Pandora right now.
Oh.
And if you're feeling like you need to wait a little bit, you can go listen to it tomorrow.
Okay, yes. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to... I totally forgot that I told you that the episode's coming out Thursday. I was like, oh, it comes out tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right now?
Nah, future.
No, yeah, I got you. Future Jay is telling me when to...
is telling Future JP about what Future J means. Think about that.
Is this Inception?
420, baby.
Hey! And then also check out us, check, I forgot how to speak. Check us out on Podbean. We have several premium tiers. We got some giveaway stuff this month. I do doodle art, as nobody else can see except for Jay.
Okay.
I do some doodle type art that's kind of graffiti-esque. Yeah.
Doodles?
Yeah.
Scribble-esque?
Scribble-esque, very... again, I can't think of words. I like graffiti, so...
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Check us out. We're giving away a few... pieces, and also my poetry group, we just released a Black Lives Matter themed zine.
Cool.
Shoot us a line at Writers on the Block, wotb.redlands@gmail.com, and then we'll send you a free Black Lives Matter zine. We'll be handing those out at protest too. A lot of the members are going to protest, and yeah, dude.
Great.
It shows like different ways to support and also tips on what to do if you are at a protest and tear gas gets shot, or what to do.
Very handy
during
things to have at protest, yeah.
So check it out. Get your hands on it. We have a PDF file, and we'll send you a free copy. That is our us giving to the Black Lives Matter movement. But thank you, Jay Light, for coming down and being
Thanks,
a part
man.
of Life on Blast, man.
Happy to do it.
And thank you guys for listening. Deuces.
Stay blasted.
Say, let's get blasted.